Welcome to our podcast, Bites and Borders. It's your two favorite hosts, Donovan.
And Ian, and today we're talking about Jamaica.
That's right. More importantly, we're giving our take on Jamaican food and giving you our recipes and the history of them.
Jamaica has lots of delicious food, but we picked out the four best foods.
Yep. Today we're talking about jerk chicken, goat curry.
Coconut drops and oxtail.
Speaking of jerk chicken, I have a great memory of jerk chicken. One of my favorite memories is when I was in Jamaica and I actually had jerk chicken and it was really good. And I also went to this Jamaican restaurant in the city with my family. I originally didn't want to go, but then when I went there, it was actually really good. And I had some oxtails and yeah.
Do you remember where you had it? Like the restaurant or like the city?
Uh,
Oh. That's a really cool story, Donovan, though. Even though you don't remember too much of it. I never knew that you went to Jamaica, but now I do. I know the listeners have also probably been waiting a little bit for this, so let's get into the recipes of the food. Okay, now I'm going to talk about two of the best Jamaican foods, coconut drops and Jamaican goat curry. First, I'm going to talk about old-fashioned coconut drops. The ingredients that you'll need: 1 cup sifted all-purpose flour, 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/2 cup of white sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 cups of shredded coconut, obviously, 1/2 cup of raisins, and 1 egg beaten. So, the directions: first, you're going to have to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, or if you're in another country, 200 degrees Celsius. And make sure to grease the cookie sheets that you're going to use. Then, combine the flour and margarine into a medium-sized mixing bowl. Margarine is obviously butter. Mix in sugar, cinnamon, and baking powder into that. Then, stir the egg into that mixture. Once the egg is well incorporated, stir in the coconut, raisins, and vanilla into it. Then, that should create a dough that you can drop into rough heaps in the size of around an egg onto the cookie sheets. And then, hopefully your oven has heated up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. And then you just have to bake 8 minutes or until lightly brown, and then you can enjoy. Next, Jamaican goat curry. You obviously need goat because it's goat curry, which is the main ingredient. You can probably find this at some local markets or butcher meats or butcher markets to find the best meat for it, or you can just go to a local grocery store. I would say to find some Jamaican curry powder, which you'll also want to go to a market for, just to find the best one. You might be able to find that at a grocery store, but for all of these, I would recommend for most ingredients try to find it at a market, and if not, then try and find another recipe to make it at home, or just get that at the grocery store. Then I would use Madras curry powder, which is just like another curry powder, which is a bit spicier. They make a great combo. Then I would use ground roasted gira, another spice blend. After that, you could use some ground Jamaican allspice, which comes from dried allspice beans, which is just like bento berries. Then salt and pepper, which you probably shouldn't need to buy. Worcestershire sauce, perfect for adding more flavor. Oil, maybe just use vegetable oil or oil that you have in your house. You could use some aromatics like onions, scallions, garlic, ginger, fresh thyme, just to make it makes everything look good and maybe taste a little bit better. Use some tomato paste to add some depth to the flavor. You could use some chicken stock and broth too, to obviously to make it more flavorful than just using something with water. Then I would use some Scotch bonnet pepper for flavoring. Just use one pepper, into the pot whole. Don't cut it open though, you don't want that. And then potatoes, because curry and potatoes go together. And so now, after that, get all your stuff, and I'm going to tell you how to make it. First, prep and season your goat meat. Cleanse and wash the goat meat. Then pat the goat meat dry with a paper towel and add all the meat into a clean bowl. Season goat meat with your spices and use your hands to massage all the spices into the goat meat, massaging very well until thoroughly coated. Then, marinate the goat meat. Cover with a bowl with a lid slash plastic wrap and transfer it to the refrigerator to allow flavors to marinate. I would recommend doing this for a few hours so all the flavor gets in. It makes it really good. Then, burn curry and ground goat meat. In a large heavy bottom pan or Dutch oven, heat the oil over until medium-high heat. Once the oil is like simmering, sprinkle in remaining curry powder. Use a wooden utensil to stir the spice into the oil until the curry is fragrant and takes on a deep golden brown color, so around 30 seconds. Then, work in batches, add some goat meat into the pot slowly. Cook the goat meat for the brownness until a nice sear appears, and then for around 2 minutes on each side. Then, transfer the brown goat meat onto a clear vessel and repeat the process until all the goat meat is browned. Then, set the brown goat meat aside and reduce the heat to medium. Add the onion, scallions, and garlic, ginger, fresh thyme, and tomato paste into the pot. If you didn't use any of them above, that's okay, but I would just recommend using the tomato paste for extra flavor. Use a wooden utensil to saute until lightly tender, around 3 to 4 minutes. Then add all of your brown goat meat back into the pot. Pour the chicken stock slash broth into the pot, covering the meat completely. Then add your pepper and stir until it all combines. And then you're gonna let it stew. So reduce the heat to like a low heat, and then cook it for around 2 to 2.5 hours, and until the meat is extra tender and falling apart. You might want to slowly monitor it though, just to make sure nothing goes wrong. Like every 10 to 30 minutes. Then after this, add your potatoes into the pot once the meat is tender and falling apart, and let the potatoes cook up in the stew until they're tender. The potatoes will thicken the goat curry a lot, so don't be alarmed if it gets a lot thick. Then, just serve. Discard the pepper and the thyme, and taste the goat curry, and add some more salt and pepper if you want. Make sure to discard the pepper though and the thyme, just because I don't think you want to eat that. And then, that's all that you need to make some Jamaican goat curry and coconut shells.
Hey there, listeners. Are you ready to get involved, make a difference, and support BCS? Let's give a shout out to the Birmingham Covington Schools PTA, a team of hardworking parents and teachers right here to back you up every day.
We're lucky to have parents and teachers stepping up to lead and support everything that makes BCS a great place to learn and just to be in general. From organizing events to funding products just like the podcast you're listening to, the PTA is here to make our school and our community even stronger.
I love podcasting. Thanks to the PTA. We use the latest tech in any class.
And those awesome microphones, PTA has for sure got it back.
So if you're in Mission Epa or Mission McLeod's class, remember the BCS PTA is there for you. If you have any questions or want to get involved, reach out at bcsptsa at gmail.com.
Again, bcs@gmail.com. Thanks to our PTA for making BCS the place to be.
Every day. Alright, now I'm going to teach you guys how to make Jamaican jerk chicken. For the ingredients, you need 1 medium onion, chopped of course, and then 3 medium scallions chopped as well, 2 Scotch bonnet chilies chopped, 2 garlic cloves chopped, and then 1 tablespoon of 5 spice powder, and 1 tablespoon of allspice berries, and coarsely ground, and 1 tablespoon of black pepper, and you have to ground that too, and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, which you crumble, and 1 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg, and then 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and 31 to 4 pound chickens quartered. Now actually how to make it. Step 1, with a food processor, combine the onions, scallions, chilies, garlic, 5 spice powder, allspice, pepper, thyme, nutmeg, and salt, and process to a coarse paste. With the machine on, add the soy sauce and oil in a steady stream, and then pour the marinade into a large, shallow dish, and add the chicken and turn to coat. Cover and refrigerate overnight. Then bring the chicken to room temperature before doing the next step. Now for the next step. Light a grill, grill the chicken over a medium hot fire, turning occasionally until well browned and cooked through for 35 to 40 minutes. And then you could also cover the grill for a smoker flavor, and then you transfer the chicken to a platter, and there you go. Now for the oxtail recipe, the ingredients you will need are oxtail, of course. You could choose the beef oxtail that is medium in size or similar to medium, and try and choose oxtail pieces that do not have like a lot of fat on them, unless you like fat. And then the marinade ingredients is brown sugar, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, salt, garlic powder, black pepper, and allspice. And other ingredients you will need are vegetable oil, yellow onion, green onion, garlic, carrots, scotch, bonnet pepper, or habanero, beef broth, thyme, cornstarch, water, and butter beans. Then this is how to make it. First, you chop up all your ingredients like the onions, garlic, and scotch bonnet or habanero pepper, and make sure to remove the seeds and membrane from the hot pepper, or your oxtail will be a little bit too spicy. Then prepare your oxtails by cleaning them with a little bit of water and vinegar, and then dry them off with some paper towels. I know, they say not to wash meat, but for this one you might want to. Now next season your oxtails with brown sugar, salt, black pepper, garlic powder, allspice, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and browning. And use your hands to mix it all in together and make sure that your oxtails are fully covered. Now you can personally decide at this point if you want to marinate it or not. Me personally, I like to marinate it and cook it on slow cooking, or you could skip the step if you want to. But if you do marinate it, you can marinate it in the fridge for 8 hours overnight. And then for the pressure cooking part, turn the pressure cooker on the high Saut setting. If using an Instant Pot, select Saut and press the plus button until it is a more setting. Once your pressure cooker is hot, add your vegetable oils to the pot. Next, add your larger oxtail pieces to the pot and flat side down about a 1/4 inch apart, and brown on each side for about 2 minutes. Make sure you're watching the oxtail at the browning stage so you don't burn the oxtail. If you do your oxtail gravy, it will taste bitter later on. You can choose to brown all your pieces of oxtail or only brown the larger pieces. And the smaller pieces usually don't need browning, so yeah. And once you've browned your oxtail, you can deglaze your pressure cooker by adding about 2 tablespoons of beef broth to the insert. And take a wooden spoon and deglaze your pot by moving the brown bits at the bottom. Then add your yellow onions, green onions, carrots, garlic, and scotch bonnet pepper. Stir and saute for about 5 minutes or until the onions have softened. And then add dry thyme, oxtails, and the liquid from the marinade and remaining beef broth. And ketchup to the pressure cooker insert. And all the broth will not cover the oxtail, but you don't really need it to. And then press cancel on your pressure cooker, cover with lid, making sure the valve is set to seal. Set your pressure cooker to cook on high pressure for 45 minutes. Once your timer goes off, you can allow the pressure cooker to naturally release. All this means that you don't touch it. If you're like me, you might stare at it for a while and wait for your oxtail, but after about 25 minutes, all your pressure should have been released. Double check it by making sure that the pin has dropped or switch the valve.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you guys try our recipes and get out of your comfort zone.
And more importantly, don't forget to watch the next episode.
Toodaloo!